Start the recording. Hello, everyone. And today we're going to be talking about this mysterious Thrive experience, but also we're going to share with you, if I don't break my camera, we're going to share with you some stories. So I'm going to be sharing my story, and you're going to hear from Cliff, who has a couple of stories to share for very good reason. So what we're going to be talking about tonight is specifically this Thrive experience. And what this is a premium grade nutrition that just takes 3 steps in the morning when you first wake up, and you're done in 20 to 30 minutes. Simply, it is step 1 is capsules you take with a full cup of water when you first wake up. And the benefits of that is you feel alert, awake, excited, motivated. For me, I feel I'm working within 10 minutes flat every day, and it's almost been 3 years, still continues to work. 20 minutes later, you drink this really yummy, it's like a shake, but it is so much more. It's nutrient dense. It's got a ton of probiotics and digestive enzymes that really repair and balance the gut health. And let's face it, we all need more nutrition in our life, more nutrients. And then the last thing is this dermafusion technology that you just peel, stick, and wear all day long, and it just it keeps you going. It keeps the vitamins and minerals flowing throughout your bloodstream, so it rounds out your energy, your focus, seem to make better eating decisions, appetite, and craving control. So that is kind of an all-inclusive system. And for me, I know I was super skeptical about it, so I'm actually going to have Cliff share his story first, because Cliff is the one that got me hooked on this. And he was someone that I had known for 13 years before I made a decision. So Cliff, if you don't mind, please share what life was like for you before, during, how long you've been thriving, give us all the good details, and share your wife's story as well, because I know that she's been thriving with you this whole time.
Yeah, she has. Ashley, can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So I apologize. I'm in a hotel, so things are a little crazy. But just in case that wasn't enough, just so you know, my Thrive's all here too. So this isn't something where we do from home and then we leave it behind at the house when we travel. My Thrive goes everywhere with me for the last 5 years. So to Ashley's point, I'll take you back a little bit when it comes to my wife and I. My wife's actually at a church camp this week with 2 of my daughters, and I am down in Miami on a work trip. So we are separated this week, but we're both thriving together, so I can assure you that. But if we look back, 5 years ago, before we had been introduced to Thrive, had never heard of Thrive. My wife is legally disabled. She has 12 autoimmune disorders and diseases that impact her body. And for about 7 years prior to that, we've been really dealing with some serious medical challenges, challenges that caused her to be constantly fatigued, constantly in the bed, unable to work. We literally had to hire someone to live at our home because, as you can tell, I travel. We needed someone there to take care of my wife. And at the time, my daughters were 7 to 12 years younger than they are now, and they're just kind of teenagers now. So really young children at the house. And so for 7 years, to be honest, we had prayed for something, anything. We had tried everything, and we basically given up and just figured that, from mid-30s onward, this is what life was going to be. But 5 years ago, a friend of ours didn't even know us that well, came up to us talking to us about these 3 steps of Thrive. And I have a pre-med degree, biology and chemistry, so I'd always been kind of really on big pharma and medication, and those kind of things were the only answers, nothing all natural. But she was saying, hey, give it a try. I think it's going to work. I think it's going to make a big impact. She didn't really know what was all going on, behind the scenes, right? Those are the things you don't post on Facebook, all the bad days and rough times that we were going through. And so for 4 months, we told her no, thank you. Not something we want to get in. We've tried everything. We've still got a whole cabinet full of all the other stuff that we never finished because it just didn't do anything. And so for 4 months, we told her no. And finally, she wouldn't quit. So we finally said, okay, we'll tell you what, we'll take it to some of Melissa's doctors. And if they bless it, then we'll try. Well, sure enough, her doctors took a look at it. They said, hey, everything's all natural, non-GMO, gluten-free. This is all good stuff that should be going into your body. They said, it can't hurt. What you're doing now obviously isn't working, so give this a try. And I'll tell you that we went into this thinking that it was just going to be another couple of days that we'd try this and we'd be done, right? Another thing to collect dust in the cabinet. But I'll tell you on day one, when we started Thrive, there was a remarkable difference in my wife, Melissa. I'd gone to work that day. Once again, we had someone living at the house to take care of her. But for the first time in years, she was up, moving, and energetic. And it kind of blew my mind. Like, she literally went upstairs, which she could hardly get up the stairs most of the time. And I'll never make medical challenges or pretend this is some kind of cure, because it's not. But it suddenly gave her the energy and the movement to get up and go upstairs and clean our daughter's rooms. And when I got home that day, because I'll tell you, I had taken day one right along beside her, didn't feel a thing. I get home and she's doing all this stuff and I'm freaking out because I'm thinking it's time to go back to the hospital. She's gonna tear her body up and we're gonna be right back where we started. But then watching her on day two, watching her on day three and forward, it was amazing to see the difference in who she was. Not only how she felt, but the way her positivity, just the general vibe of, because she was feeling better, she exuded that, right? And the whole time I'm over here going, nope, it's in your head. There's no way that stuff is working. I'm doing the same thing. I don't feel anything. So obviously it's in your head. And we had just tried like a 3-day sample. And she said, well, it's my birthday. I'm going to order this Thrive stuff. And I said, hey, that's fine. Don't order it for me. Don't waste the money. It's obviously not working for me. You do your thing. Well, to be fair, during my 3 days, I was still drinking 5 to 6 Coke Zeros and Diet Cokes every day, because that's how I lived. I have a terrible sweet tooth, so I wasn't a coffee drinker or an energy drink person. But I was dealing with a wife with serious medical challenges at home. I had a corporate job where I traveled a lot. And when I wasn't traveling, I was going to night school at the University of Miami for my master's degree. So you can imagine it was up at 5 o'clock in the morning and probably didn't get home till around 11 o'clock at night. And then I did the same thing again the next day. So it was always Diet Coke, just trying to get through the day. I always felt sluggish. My stomach was always in just discomfort and knots. I never felt great, ever. And I just thought this is what adult life was like. This is why everybody complains about being an adult, right? This is just it. But I was sabotaging myself during that whole time. So luckily, Melissa didn't listen to me on her birthday, and she placed the order for both of us, and we got our first month of Thrive. Of course, when it came in, she's all excited and everything's going. I'm just like, oh, here we go again. This is going to be a letdown. I'm telling you, it doesn't work. Well, for me, it wasn't until day 10 that I realized I was at home that evening. My mom lives with us because my dad passed away a few years ago. And I heard that familiar of the open of the soda can, but it wasn't me. It was my mom. And it was about 9 o'clock that night. And I literally just look over at Melissa and I say, I don't think I've had a soda today. And of course, we all had a good laugh, right? Because there's no way I didn't have a soda that day. And she's such a great wife. She always packed me 2 sodas at my lunch. So we went over to my cooler that I brought home from work that day. And sure enough, those 2 sodas were still there. And I'm sitting there going, well, wait a minute, it's 9 o'clock at night. I still feel pretty good. And I haven't had a soda all day. Maybe there is something to this Thrive stuff. Sure enough, 5 years later, here I am. My soda habit is kicked. Don't need that stuff anymore. Now I'm addicted to water, which I used to hate water, but I love to drink water now. I feel so much better. My stomach discomfort is gone. I don't have those knots and that sluggishness all day. I'm up and moving every day. As you saw, I'm in a hotel right now and I didn't leave my Thrive at home. There's no way I was going to leave that. If you told me that 5 years ago, I would have laughed at you because there's no way I would have been carrying around vitamins with me all the time. But this stuff works. It's made such a big difference in both my wife's life and in my life. Like I said, she's at a church camp this week. That would have never happened 5 years ago. Our lives have been dramatically changed because of these 3 steps every morning. And I can't say enough. Between the 2 of us with our Thrive, our lives have changed so much better, not only me as a husband, as a father to my 3 girls. I now want to actually spend time and do things with them because I feel good and I have the energy to do that. And then be able to live a life where I'm not worried about how my wife's life is going and whether or not I can leave the house without some kind of tragedy happening. So I can't say enough. I know Ashley said that, I introduced this to her, but it's because we were such great friends that she trusted me. And I'm so glad she trusted me, because I had a hard time trusting the person that brought it to me. But I'll tell you what, whoever is bringing you these 3 steps, listen, because they care about you. It really is something that's going to impact your life in a powerful way.
Wow, Cliff, every time I hear your story, like my heart flutters, because I've known you for so long. At this point, it's been, I always look at the date, but it's been like 16 years total. And so when
We
you,
met when I was 2,
yeah,
just
obviously,
to be fair.
obviously. Um, so when you approached me in 2017, and you gave me that sample, and I look back now, it's funny now how skeptic I was, but I wish I could go back and shake myself and say, Ashley, you needed this, and you turned down something that could have saved you 2.5 years sooner. And so I watched Cliff. I mean, I served with Cliff in the Air Force. We would run laps around the base, and I was trying to keep up with the tallest guy in my squadron, which was him, and it gave me shin splints trying to do that. And I didn't and that will come into play in my story here in just a moment, but I was trying a lot of things. I was trying things on Amazon, Target, GNC. I was putting Band-Aids on top of an energy problem, on top of a sleep problem, on top of gut problems. And so when he approached me in 2017, he gave me a few days worth, and I threw it away on the second day because I didn't think vitamins would make a difference. I took them all my life. Nothing you can feel. So I passed on it. I passed and I watched for 2.5 years until he made a post saying, what is your morning routine? After 3 paragraphs, and I've tried to go back and find that post, but I can't. That is a cry for help. I don't care what you say, that is a cry for help. So I was really saying, Cliff, help me, Cliff. And he reached out, messaged me, we talked, and I knew without a doubt by the end of that conversation, and we had a conversation for a few days, it wasn't just in one single day, I knew that it would save me money in the first month, it would simplify my routine, and it could possibly change my life. It was the hope that he gave me. So I ordered a month's supply, and I decided to follow it exactly, do those 3 steps exactly as he recommended, give myself time, and in 4 days, it lit up my world. My world went from black and white to color. I call it the Wizard of Oz effect. I was so surprised that I had so much good energy, and I forgot to make my coffee that day, and I didn't care. I had energy left over to play with my kids. I wasn't momming from the couch. I just felt happy and joyous, and this priceless feeling of, oh my goodness, vitamins did this. And I still thought it was a placebo effect, which is so funny. But then it started the next day, and then the next day, and then the next day. I'm like, what is going on with my life right now? I feel so good. And I started to tell people about it, and I decided not to shut up anymore. I decided to tell everyone I knew, because I know that everyone deserves to feel like that. And to answer Farrell, it says, does it wear off? I've been thriving almost 3 years. It does not. I go until it's time for bed, and then I crash. I sleep so good, and then I wake up rested, and then I take my Thrive and I do it over again. So it's like, how long do you want to feel good? How long do you want to fill your nutritional gaps with something that is clean, super clean, really high premium grade ingredients? Cliff has been thriving for 5 years. So it's not like it stops. It stops when you stop taking it, or taking it correctly. I will never stop thriving. I will never shut up about this. The company does something which I think is genius, and I've not seen any other company do this with a product that actually works. And that is, if you love it and you share with people how much you love it, and they order on auto ship, you get 2 friends to order on auto ship, you get yours for free. Last time I paid for my Thrive was October 19th of 2019. Cliff, you've been thriving for free. How long have you been thriving for free?
Melissa and I purchased our first month in March of 2017. We haven't paid since.
That is a long time. And you get both of you get yours monthly.
Yep.
And then me and my husband, we also get ours monthly as well. Both of us are thriving together. So it's hands down the best referral system you'll ever find. Then there's a business opportunity. We could do like a whole Zoom on just the business opportunity, but it's a free business. It's just a button on your website to become a brand promoter. There's lots of perks and benefits of that. You get auto ship pricing, which is a 20% discount. Of course, you get it for free with 2 referrals, but you also make commissions off of that. So in a time of what I like to refer to as like a 911 situation with needing a multiple streams of income, if you think that this might be good for you, and if you need a stream of income, then why not? You're not hurting anything by hitting that button and sharing. Because that's all that we do. We just share. The product really speaks for itself, to be honest with you. And I can go into 10 other perks that this business provides. But if that's something you're interested in, just put that in the comments or message who invited you here. We can jump on a special Zoom and dig more into that. But that's really all that this is. It's premium grade ingredients that is formulated very well, that changes lives. I would not be jumping on a Zoom talking about vitamins. Neither would Cliff. Let me tell you, we would not spend our precious time here if it wasn't worth it. And it's just 3 simple steps. So don't be like the skeptic like me. I know, Cliff, you guys waited for 4 months, but yeah. So Farrah, let's ask you, I do advise that people check with their general practitioner. So if I always say, if you're under the care of a physician or a doctor, take the ingredients to them and check with them. It's always better because they understand your body, your health a little bit more. So better be safe than sorry with any health changes, right? Are there?
I would say too that that's the great thing about it, is that the fact that all of the ingredients are all natural, non-GMO, gluten-free. Everything is, grown and processed here in the United States. So it's not some stuff coming over from overseas that you don't know where it came from. Like I said, we actually took it to 7 different doctors for Melissa. And all 7, everything from, a rheumatologist to a cardiologist. It was the whole gambit of what she goes to. And every one of them said, absolutely, that's all good stuff. So, that's the great thing about it. That's really what turned me on to this product. That's what makes it so different from everything else that we had tried.
That's a really good point. And the fact that it's gluten-free and lactose-free, I know you're lactose-free as well, Cliff, but I'm gluten-free. So I get to utilize this like as a extra shake in the afternoon. It's got good protein in there. And I also use it for protein energy balls. So I'll always get extra lifestyle mix every month, and I'll make it into other things as well.
I just want to say that I would not tell my doctor I'm taking something new. Why? Because doctors today want you to be on medication. It's a thing about it that's what they want to do, rather than say, you know what, test your vitamins, rather than say, where are you nutritiously or nutriently, or what's missing in your blood panel that they'll give you a medication. So what I would rather do is take it and then go to the doctor and see where the difference is. Because I honestly, for the last year, I don't trust, honestly, I can say it, I don't trust their guidance as far as what's good for me. And based upon my experience and my own research on how I should and what I should, just because you reach a certain age, doesn't mean you have to take out. And so because they're not pushing the natural stuff, or what else can we do that will work along, then they're not going, they may tell you, oh girl, don't try that, it's not gonna,
Yeah, I get what you're saying, Lisa. At the end of the day, I think being your own advocate for your own body and your own health is top priority. But I'm not a doctor. I'm not a physician. If you have medication you're taking, and I get asked this all the time, will this interfere or conflict with what I'm taking? I cannot answer that. So again, better be safe than sorry. You do whatever you want. Your body, your choice, absolutely. But I'm very hands off because I have to be. Just, your health and your life is more important here. So I always provide the ingredients. Do what you want with them. Are there any other questions that you guys have here? You can unmute, you can put it in chat, very open.
I do have a question.
Yes, sir.
Yes, I do have this something very uncommon for somebody in my shape, because being personal trainer, karate instructor, that kind of thing. But I find out a couple years ago that I have a sleep apnea. And basically, my sleeping is very sensitive to caffeine, anything to give me energy. If I drink coffee after 2 o'clock, I've been awake all night. That's how sensitive I am. Okay. I'm a pretty healthy guy. I eat a lot of fruit, a lot of vegetables. I don't abuse and like fast food. I do eat fast food, but I don't abuse those things. But the problem that I have is sleep. The nights I don't sleep too well. Next day I feel like old man. And my main concern about is how much caffeine, how much energy they're going to give to me is going to mess my sleep at night, or what you guys recommend on that part?
So I'll answer. I've only got a couple more minutes because I got to jump to the other Zoom, and if we need to, Sandra, I know we've got a three-way chat. I can add more in there.
I can stay on too, Ashley, if you need me.
Yeah, and I'll probably make you host if that's okay. But Sandra, it's got a third of the caffeine compared to 1 cup of coffee. However, it's green tea caffeine, so it is not a 1-to-1 relationship with the synthetic caffeine in coffee. And it's a clean energy. I know Lisa was talking about that earlier on our live. It's clean, steady energy, and it's not that synthetic that you get from coffee. So very, very different apples to oranges. But I always recommend drink your water, drink half your weight in ounces of water a day, more than that if you're sweating. And I know you're very active, Sandra, we were talking about that before. And so drinking water will circulate those vitamins and minerals. Cliff, was there anything that you wanted to add there?
Yeah, I would add, Sandra, I can definitely understand that. I also have sleep apnea. I actually had a CPAP machine for a while, and I just could not sleep in the darn thing. So I got rid of it. It was keeping me from sleeping even more than my sleep apnea was. But what I found now is that I sleep